start out with the business part of it, which is recognizing the board-appointed election inspectors, which is Rich Miller and Lisa Medlock, who is our corporate secretary. Rich is our CFO. At this time, will eligible shareholders of record please submit your final proxy votes? Proxies are available to those who may need them or haven't yet voted. They're also available to those who have voted that may want to change their vote. Inspectors will collect if we have any proxies. All right. At this time, I will call for a vote regarding the nominee in all classes for the Board of Directors. Will the inspectors please advise if the directors received the required numbers of votes? Oh, wait.
Yes, I have. We have 1,202,628 shares voted, which is 55% of the vote. Vote came out as 4.
Okay. So the inspectors have reported that the required number of votes have been received. So I declare the directors duly elected based on the plurality of votes cast. And that's the business part. So now I am going to talk briefly about the company, a little bit about the financial results, and then we will have a question and answer. So I'm going to start out by being a hypocrite. Probably didn't see that coming at the annual meeting of the bank. The reason I'm being a hypocrite is I was just giving someone feedback the other day that you should not start a meeting with thank yous, but you should get right to the business at hand. But I'm going to break that feedback, so whoever I gave that to, I'm doing it because it's a special occasion which really demands acknowledgement and gratitude for people who have helped us so much. And so I want to start with a very key group, your representatives and my bosses, the board of directors, who have just been introduced. They have been an invaluable resource to our team here and to me personally for their direction, a lot of feedback, and support. I also want to give a special thanks to our chair, Karen Mercino, and Director Mike Kubinski, who have served this organization for 19 and 20 years respectively. I didn't mean to age you, Mike. You were the 20th. I've said this many times. I've probably said it at any annual meeting. Without them here and help from others, none of us could be here today because they kept going in the darker days, which are far behind us now. And the last thing, I really have to thank our team. We have some of our team members here. I will have them all stand up. And I want to thank them, one, for their very hard work, their engagement to get us to this point in our journey, and really the most important thing is their excitement to go much, much farther than we have today. So this is my 4th annual meeting for Oxford Bank Corporation. If you're a new attendee to this meeting, I would tell you that I did not get this hairstyle because of my time here, though I could have, because this business in it is not an easy business. And you'll see in our employees, we get a lot of people with that haircut, but that is not why. I mean, it's a tough business. We're tremendously overregulated. We're treated like by the political sphere as a social control entity, but I can't believe I'm quoting this either. To quote the Godfather, this is the business we chose. And it really is a great business and is a very satisfying business to be a part of because we really do get to help people have a better life. And that includes you who are owners and stakeholders. And really, how can we help you is to live our mission to create value, right? Which starts and ends really. Your ownership and your investment in here is really based on increasing returns on your investment. To that end, we did have a great year in terms of earnings growth in 2017. It's really not, I say that, and then I have a caveat for it. You know, our goal is at least be our peer group which we did not in 2017. Based on our first quarter this year, which was the best the bank has reported in over 10 years, we are on track to, if we don't beat them, we'll be very close to that. It really does show a promising future for the organization. And that promising future really is evidenced by the team not only strongly improving earnings, well, we grew very strongly. And if you know, in our banking business, it's very difficult to improve earnings and grow at the same time, mostly because we incur costs in chunks, kind of like payroll, and we earn revenue in a trickle. So the first year, you really don't make anything on a loan. It takes a couple of years for that all to stick. So when you're growing, you're putting a lot of effort in, and you really get the payback down the road, because it is a long-term business. We do think of the business as a growth company, because we think that is the best way to build value for our stakeholders, for our customers, for our teams. And I would give a caveat on that. I'm full of caveats today. In our business, growth is only good if you can sustain the benefits of that growth. What I mean by that is, if you give too much of it back in tough economic times, the growth is kind of for naught. So we really do believe in sustainable growth. We believe in it so much that this year we gave up, I say gave up in quote marks, substantial assets and potential earnings in 2017 to limit our future risk. So the setup for that is we originated over $100 million in new business loans in 2017, but the actual loan balances only grew 11%, or $22 million. I'm being a little sarcastic when I say only. I mean, 11% loan growth is pretty good. Our peers' loan growth was under 8%. But the reason we didn't increase our loan balances more is, like I said, to the level of originations was because of risk mitigation. So for a bank like us, we are very C&I oriented. C&I is commercial and industrial, so most of our loans have very short tenors. The borrowings go up and down, but we would kind of expect to get about new loan balances 60 to 70% of our originations. So that would have translated to 60 to 70 million of new loan growth. The reason the loan didn't grow, because at the same time, for diversification reasons, we were exiting performing loans in the interest of our long-term diversification. I have, if you have been here before, I say this every time. We believe in diversification instead of thinking we're super geniuses, and so we did want to reduce our concentrations of loans secured by commercial investment real estate. In our business, we call it non-owner occupied commercial real estate. So to do that, we basically chose not to refinance over $32 million of loans in 2017 to real estate investors. So it has a pretty big impact on the balance sheet, obviously, and our loan growth. It also would have hit reduced our pre-tax earnings somewhere between 10 and 20%. And I am here really to tell you that the board and the team here were completely fine with reducing risk, even at the expense of current earnings. I say that, one more caveat, but I got to be very clear, we aren't fine with underperforming our peer in earnings, and we do believe that that was an infrastructure cost to clean up from the past, so don't expect to have that opportunity cost in the future, because we can run the business, we diversify just as a matter of course in our business, so we should not be in a position where we're eliminating loans like that. Along the infrastructure line, investments in it, we did add people in technology the last couple of years to build our base up to grow. Say in 2018, we believe our build-up and investments are basically behind us. I want to say that doesn't mean we don't have to invest, but we don't have to invest to kind of rebuild or put a base in place. So we can really focus our resources on improving our customer experience, both internal and external customers. Both our team and our external customers both got to have a good experience with the organization to be successful. So, in 2017, our team really did show their excellence. I told you, by improving earnings. We faced a lot of challenges in 2017. We went through a system conversion that happened the day before the start of our normal regulatory exam cycle. So from July through a large part of year end, we probably had more to do than hours in the day to actually do it. And again, I commented on the team a lot already, but I do believe that they put in that work because they do believe we have a bright future for themselves and for their team members. And I've said at this meeting many times, but it does bear repeating, is we do believe that if we have an engaged relationship with our team, it results in having great relationships with our customers, and really everything else should fall into place for our stakeholders. And that philosophy has certainly proven true. Our year-over-year growth in pre-tax earnings per share was 39% in 2017. 2018, we believe we will continue on our path of improving earnings. Our forecast is to be very close to our peers' projected return on average assets, and I believe later in the year we will run at a rate that surpasses our peer and be going into 2019 as a superior performer. So I don't want to talk or take too much time, but I would like to note a few of the more important things we believe in or are working on. We do believe customer experience is everything, which is why we have to focus on constant improvement. Constant improvement is a super buzzword, but basically how we look at it is if you do a lot of little things better than your competition, it's impossible for them to copy that because they can't copy hundreds of small things. We don't believe we can get constant improvement without having a culture where every member of the team feels not only free to provide improvement feedback to anyone, including me, but also to accept negative feedback in the spirit that it's given, which is to make us better. It's not easy to do that culture because it makes people uncomfortable at the start. I just finished with a rotating member of the executive team teaching 8 weeks of class on every employee of the bank on why feedback is so important to our success, and we will get better and better on that because people will get less and less uncomfortable with giving clear, direct feedback. On the technology front, we see that technology is going to reach a point where the best customer's experience may actually include very little personal service. For us, it's been the case for many years. We don't necessarily have to keep up with the big dogs, but we certainly have to be in the game on having technology that does provide convenience and actually provides a better customer experience. Other part is we also know we have to monetize our data. It's part of improving the customer experience. We have a wealth of data, and data is very valuable. But the only way you're going to improve the customer experience is really have to apply analytics to the data to find out what is the best offer for the client. Or, with predictive analytics, you can see by their activity if a client is thinking about leaving the bank, so you can get ahead of the curve on that. So overall, I believe your investment in us should perform very well. It takes a whole team here to win together and treat this business like it is their business. So on that note, it's a good note to end my remarks and ask if you have any feedback or questions for me.
So Dave, I've got just a comment and then a question. So the comment is feedback. I would say that you've assembled one of the best promotional groups in the area, hands down.
Thank you.
Well respected, great guys, good reputation, good things done, so thank you for doing that. Question is, with respect to the pending deregulation in banking,
Yeah.
that's passed, I think, the House this morning, what effect do you think that's going to have with respect to earnings and efficiency?
Yeah, that's a really good question. We went to Washington. It's one of the few times you go to Washington and go to Republican House members and say, don't touch the Senate bill, please just let it go through because the Senate will never be able to pass it again. Probably the biggest thing for us, it's not going to be really on efficiency. They're going to have some reduction of call report production, which call reports every quarterly. We complete, how many line report, Rich? Hundreds of lines. 70 pages of information. The part that it reduces, we didn't have to fill out anyway, so that part's not going to help us much. I think the biggest one, though, is qualified mortgage. So if we put a mortgage in our portfolio, it automatically qualifies or is judged a qualified mortgage. And the qualified mortgage is a super important thing, and it really, when that came out in Dodd-Frank, it really impacted the mortgage market. Because if they didn't have a 40% DTI, you could still do the loan, but it wouldn't be a qualified mortgage. And it would leave us open to being sued for putting somebody in a mortgage that they couldn't afford. It was back to when they were, doing $800,000 loans to people who made $20,000 and selling them on the secondary market. That's what it came out of. But so that, I think that's a really good thing for us, and that's kind of it from just 40,000 feet. But look, we're super happy about it because we have been on the wrong side of legislation in our industry for at least 10 years. This is the first time you could get any bipartisan support to do anything. And the bill really almost didn't get done because there's really nothing in it. The Democrats can't have anything in it for the very large banks who carry very large sway. And so we were very excited. It also is a good message for our agencies about congressional intent and the executive branch. There is a bias against regulation, and that ultimately is a good thing for us because much of our regulation is a very subjective affair based on what the field staff of our regulatory agencies decide. Thank you.
And now you walk in the bank and you see smiles and they say hello, and it's friendly again, and I just have to acknowledge that. I have to tell you that several years ago, before you came on, Roger Mann, who used to be a member of the board, after I was bemoaning to him about how bad it was here, he announced that, he didn't say your name, but he said, "You've hired somebody that I think you really like." So I have to tell you that he is right. Dave has been a real asset to the community. The bank is back supporting the community. They're being part of the community. And as president of the village council and a member of the DDA board, I appreciate the support and the participation that all of the bank employees have provided to all our events downtown. You see them out and about. They're at every concert series. They participate in Scarecrow, Soup and Sweet Stroll. Dave is out selling popcorn. He's lighting the tree last year in the park. And it's just wonderful to see that attitude and that participation again. And I also have to point out some people. Nancy serves on our DDA board, and she's been a real asset, and she participates in a lot of things. Liz, back here. And I'm pointing out all the ones that I really work with. Liz is part of our promotions committee and has been a real asset to that committee. And then my personal bankers here, Michelle and Tina, who participate in things, and it's just wonderful. They never hesitate to say, "What can I do to help you? What can I take care of for you? What do you want to change? What do you want to do?" They just have been real assets to this bank. Good employees, at least I think so. And I want to thank you, Dave, for getting the team back together.
Oh, thank you, sir. Thank you very much. It is all on the team. Nancy runs our personal banking, has done a tremendous amount of work on culture in her group, and so all I would say is thank you on behalf of everybody who made it happen. Yes, sir.
I'm a very happy stockholder, but just wondering about the prospects for a dividend someday.
So on dividends, it's we are growing right now at a rate that it wouldn't make any sense to dividend it out because we would have to turn around and do another capital offering. If at some point we aren't growing like that, we would dividend because we're not gonna keep excess, there's no reason for us to keep excess capital. So if we aren't using it, we will give it back.
Sounds reasonable.
Thank you. Any other questions, comments? No? All right, well, then I will turn it back over to Karen. Thank you very much again.
Well, David, it's not proper to open a meeting with you talk about closing.
That's proper.
So I would like to thank, on behalf of the board, I want to thank Dave and his leadership and where we've taken the bank in the last few years. And I hope this is the last year we ever talk about the dark times, because they were hard and they were long. But thanks to the team here that's helping rebuild, and thank you to our dear shareholders and depositors and customers, because you stuck with us through the bad times, and it's paying off, and I hope that everybody becomes rewarded with that. So thank you to all of you. Thank you for coming this evening. We have, as usual, some food here for everybody to partake in, and hope you'll socialize a little bit and be with us next year. Thank you very much. And if there is no further business, this meeting is adjourned.